Greetings, this is the Baron, and here we are again playing 1.5. The rule set is up. Pause it if you want to take a look. I've gone over it already. The deck I'm playing is Titania's Song, my Titania's Toys deck. You know it, you love it, you hate it, whatever. My opponent is playing a Reanimator build. Talking about All Hallows Eve here. It comes into play with 2 counters suspended and in 2 upkeeps. Everything from the graveyards hit play. So it is a beast of reanimation spell, especially in conjunction with Bazaar of Baghdad, which he's running. You tap, you draw 2, you discard 3, you fuel up your graveyard with everything you need, all your monsters. He's also running Sinbad in here, which is a great addition to a deck like this, because you can just put, for the land, you get to draw it. If not, you get to put it in the graveyard, especially when you have a card like Library of Leng in here, which, if it's not a creature, you can choose to put it back on top and draw it next turn. Great synergy between those 2 cards, and a great addition to this deck. The beaters he's running are pretty strong. He's got a Shivan Dragon, a couple of those floating around here. He's also running Singer Vampires, which I love to see, and Triskelions, which are dangerous, dangerous toys that you do not want coming in and out of play too often. So let's see how these 2 monsters match up in game number 1. And in this match, I am playing my opponent, LotusTwisterGo, who is on the play, winning the die roll there. And of course, I do not know what deck he's running at this time. This is all after the fact, information that I just gave you guys. So, just checking out his hand now, and I guess I'm good with mine. And we're talking a little bit about the format, which, by the way, let me know what you think of this format. I personally absolutely love it. Taking all those power cards out just really, it makes you get a little more creative, and it changes, the normal decks you're seeing played. So here we are. He's got a Badlands, I got a Forest, so right away he's got a little more options than I do. I know it's weird to say with just 1 land, but okay, now he's got 2 dual lanes out. And I got a Plains. And if you know this deck, my mana doesn't really matter. I need white to function. My disenchants, my plows, all that stuff. Green, I don't really need that much. I just need to cast my song when, in the end of the game, when I'm ready to win. Bazaar of Baghdad taps it to use, drawing up to 8 here, and he's going to have to discard 3 now to finish that effect. And get it out that early and use it means I guess that's the way you need to do. I've never had these cards, the Bazaar of Baghdad. It's a card that's on my list, to get eventually. And look what he did with it. 2 Shivans and a Trike right in the trash bin, right off the way, Turn 3, 3 monsters in the graveyard. And it looks like some reanimation here. Yeah, Animate Dead, bring back Triskelion. So already I'm kind of in trouble here. He's got a 3/4 on the board. And it's an 0/1 with 3+1 counters, right? So again, disenchant him, and he throws those 3 ping damages right to my face. So I'm down to 17 already. And already I'm getting a taste of how scary this deck is. And he's 1 ritual basically away from casting All Hallows Eve and sending me to an early grave, which is a scary thought, So he's got 5 cards in hand, draws to 7 with that Bazaar, pitching the giant lobster monster. And what else is going to get? 2 more cards going to go in the bin. And that lobster monster is crazy. Can't make out what that card is. Sorry about that. But he finished the effect, and he drops a land, and he passes turn. And speaking of Bazaar and All Hallows Eve, I actually just picked up my first 2 All Hallows Eves, and I'm very excited to eventually make a deck similar to what I'm playing against him. But I'm so far off. I've never owned a Bazaar, and I have 0 in my collection currently, and I don't have the kind of cash to throw around to pick those up like nothing. So maybe down the road it'll happen. For now, I'm just excited I got a book out, because I'm gonna have to draw some cards to get some answers here. Now, at least against this deck, I do have some strong answers. For his single animations, I can disenchant the Animate Deads. I can plow the creature. If he does get an All Hallows Eve off, I've got 4 Wrath of Gods main deck still here, so I'm equipped to answer the issues that come up. It's just a matter of, do I get what I need? And that book is going to help me get there, I hope. That's the plan. That's why it's there. You know? He plays a Sinbad and a library, and that's that beautiful little combo I talked about in the beginning here. You can use the Sinbad. If it's a land, it goes to his hand. If it's a creature, he can throw it in the graveyard right where he wants it. And if it's any spell he does want to draw, he can just leave it on top of his library now. He also has no max hand size, which I don't think will come into play this game. But it's something that people forget about with that card, you know? That library with a Ivory Tower could really go a long way. You know, it's a very underplayed card, in my opinion. And I don't know what we're looking at here. I don't know. I guess he's down to 1 card in hand, so his Bazaar is off. Takes the draw for his turn. I've got my 4 mana open, 5 mana. I got a Caracas out, and got all the white I need. He's got, you know, the 1 forest, 1 savannah, so 2 green sources. So there's nothing I need to cast. You know, I'm mana fixed. Disenchanting that library in response to his activation of the land. That way he doesn't have the choice to put those cards back on top. He will be losing all 3 cards that he discards. So in response here, he's thinking about using that Sinbad so that the library is still there for his effect to take place. So he's got a Fellwar Stone. He doesn't want that on top of his library. He says, no, I'll pitch that right in the bin. Disenchant goes through, and then the Bazaar happens. Draws him up to 4. He's got discard down to 1 card here. And this is the tough part of running this deck, I guess, you know. He could have a... okay, so it's 2 plows and an enemy dead in the bin. Down to 1 card. That card could be All Hallows Eve. It could be a Dark Ritual. He's trying to get an All Hallows Eve. But if he had the Ritual in his hand, and he drew the Eve right there, you know, that's rough to be able to throw away your capability to cast the All Hallows Eve. It's always risky doing it at 2 cards. But you need to be aggressive. You need to dig deep and, you know, get your deck working before your opponent can get the answer they need. You know, I've only got 3 cards in my hand. I got that book, but I keep tapping my mana for, you know, things. And that's, I guess, one of the things I need to get better at playing this deck, actually, is allocating my mana and kind of playing a little more reserved. But you need to have answers, you know, what are you going to do? Drop myself another forest here. Got my Icy out, and I love the Icies in this deck. They've gone so far for me. Tapping down, what am I tapping? His Underground Sea during his upkeep. Okay. So taking away his, well, 1 black. Yeah, okay. Took away 1 black. So if he did have All Hallows Eve, he can't cast it. He only has 1 black source for his main phase. So he's going to get him Sinbad, and he hits a red-blue, so it goes to his hand. And that is just great. You know, I haven't played with Sinbad yet, but I do want to get there. Ooh, and there it is, Ritual All Hallows Eve. So I am now on a 2-turn clock before that thing pops off and throws all those nasty beaters and all those monsters in his graveyard right into play. I tell you, if I was running this deck, especially in these colors, I don't think he's running it. I would play Nicol Bolas. You know, I don't care about that upkeep. I'll pay it once. I'm going to hit for 7, make you discard your entire hand. I think it's 100% worth it, and 100% worth it just for the flavor of things, you know? Play Elder Dragon Legend. Come on, you know? Do it. I want to see more played. I want to see more and more decks. Play Arcades Sabbath. You know, make me happy. Tag me when you do it. Okay, 5 mana from my end. No, bad decision. What could I possibly do for 5 mana anyway? What was I thinking? I don't think there's anything that's cost 5 mana in my deck. You know? Oh well. Whatever it was, I took it back. Tapping down a land on his upkeep, his Underground Sea. So it's still denying him 1 black mana source. And it's also one of his blue mana sources. But that's fine, he still has 2 blue, so if he's running counters, he can still counter. And Eve has 1 counter on it. Next upkeep, it's going to happen. And I'm not sure when you're supposed to counter All Hallows Eve, if it's like Suspend, and because you can't counter a Suspend card when they suspend it. That's an ability. You can, like, ooh, Disc, that'll solve the All Hallows Eve problem. But like if it was a Suspend card, if you can counter the Suspend ability, the card is kind of countered. But normally when a Suspend card comes off. When the suspend counters come off, that's when it's kind of being cast, and that's when you can counter it normally, as far as I understand. So I'm not sure if that's how All Hallows Eve works or not. These old cards, you know, they get kind of wacky. You know, like dropping them from a foot off the, you know, off the table and stuff like that. Wacky. So what are we seeing come in? A Soul Konar, a Sinbad, 2 Shivan Dragons, a Sengir Vampire, Deep Spawn, Triskelion, and Clone Triskelion. Okay, so this, I mean, I got my disc, or else this would be the end of the game for, you know, against a lot of decks. And that clone there is a good, nice little touch. I like seeing that, especially when you can clone Triskelions, because even if I had an answer every time, if I had a Wrath of God every time he All Hallows Eve, Triskelions would kill me anyway on their own, especially with the clone there. So that is it's a very cool include, and it gets my seal of approval for sure. On the end of his turn, I draw a card because I need to find other answers. I don't want to have to disc. And tapping down his land also at the end of his turn. Going to me. What do I have? Anything, or am I going to use that disc? And also, if I'm going to use the disc, I can wait till his turn. No, it's a Wrath of God. Okay, beautiful. There are 4 in here. There's no counterspell on his side, which, I mean, a deck like that, I guess you could even sideboard counterspells, you know? Or maybe you run Red Blast so that your All Hallows Eve doesn't get countered. But the only thing you're afraid of, you're not afraid of spot removal. You are afraid of Wrath of God. So maybe you throw a couple counters in the sideboard just in case your opponent is running, you know, 4 rats. Which you don't see a lot of in this format, actually. These, you know, mostly creatureless decks. You see a lot of creature-based decks in 1.5. Sometimes you see the counter burns, like I played, I think last match counter burn. I think it was. And were there any creatures in there? I don't even know. So hard cast Triskelion. And what's he tapped for? I tapped him at the end of his turn. But I need a better answer than that. So it's this kind of stuff that will get. Ooh, Mirror Universe. Man, that card has done me so much work this tournament. It just, you know, just having it on the table, it makes your opponent second guess everything they're doing. You know, it really makes them have to think in ways that they're not used to having to think. So, you know, he attacked Triskelion for 4, shoot me for 3, and I just switch lives. You know, so it's like, what's the right choice here? You know, the whole point of the Mirror Universe is trying to take away your options, I guess. Make it kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of scenario. But now I really don't want to have to use that disc. I mean, it's there as a backup plan, but hopefully I can find another Wrath or a regrowth to get my Wrath back. But even then, I still have this Triskelion here for now. And I have lots of answers against the artifact creature, of course. You know, I got my Plows, my Disenchants, again, like I said, Wraths. But even got Divine Offering main deck. Got one of them, and a Dusted Dust. I think I'm still running in this build. Although I would need a second artifact target. I'm okay with that. And what are we going to see on this guy? Another Triskelion. Oh man, this is the kind of stuff that gets me. Ooh, but I got a Plow for each one of them. That's cool. That's cool. So I'll take. How much damage is he going to throw at me here? It's going to be all 6. It's going to be just a 4 and ping themselves to the graveyard. We will see. I guess he's trying to decide that now, especially with that Mirror Universe on the table. You know, what is the right choice? This is what I was talking about. You know, what would you do here? You know, it's it's hard to say. I think I would definitely want my Trikes in the graveyard, so I would have 4 damage to figure out what to do with. And since I don't see any creature, like I'm not taking any damage yet, I might even just hit myself for 4 here. You know, I don't know if this is the right choice or not, but maybe it's not, because those Triskelions could deliver the finishing blow at some point on your own turn. Okay, so he did shoot at me, dropped me down to 8, and he hit himself for 1, bringing him to 19. He did save the 2 Trikes, so I took 3 there. So I switched lives on my upkeep. So I'm now at 19 and he's at 8. And there's my song and there's my lethal swing. And he's tapped out, so that's game. Boom. Game 1 goes to me. Titania's Song doing its job. That was like beautiful. My deck just did exactly what it's supposed to do. It flowed so smooth. This is what I want to happen every time I draw my 7 cards. You know, this is what I want it to come into. Let's hit the sideboards and get into game number 2. Here we are, game number 2, all sideboarded up. So LotusTwisterGo, my opponent here, is actually choosing to be on the draw here, allowing me to play first. And he's mulliging down to 6 cards. Just to decide what discard here. And it was a good game 1. It was a damn good game 1. Both our decks did what they were supposed to do. My deck just happens to have the like absolute, you know, counter to his deck, which is the Wrath of God. And I happen to have it in time, and that let me let my deck do its job. And okay, right off the bat, we got a Bazaar on his side, so he's ready to get going. Yep, here he goes. Draw 2. He's got to discard 3 now. And what does he got? What fatties of BC get thrown in that graveyard? What monsters? Oh man, 3 Triskelions. Ay, 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 that's 9 damage right there, even if they never get to swing. Oh, man. That is brutal. Well, he still needs to be able to have at least 2 mana to get 1 back, or if he's got a Dark Ritual, 2 mana to get all 3 of them back. 2 turns from that. That would mean, of course, with the All Hallows Eve. And here I got my Scepter out, and here he's got 2 mana. What are we going to see? Uh-oh. Ritual All Hallows Eve. Oh, man. Okay. So, those robots are coming out in 2 turns on his upkeep. I got my mana, though, so if I have a Wrath, I can at least avoid them swinging into me. But I will probably still take 9 damage if that happens. And that is just so much damage, you know? That is not what you want to happen. 4 mana for an Icy here. And these Icies have done a lot of work for me in this game against this deck. You know, if you get a single reanimation, I can tap down to 1 creature. Otherwise, I can keep some of his land tapped, you know, preferably a black mana source, just to keep him off hard casting another All Hallows Eve. And down to 1. On his upkeep, those things are coming into play. What could I do? Tsunami. Okay, that's taking out 2 lands. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. That's going to make me feel pretty comfortable with what's going on here a little bit. As long as I can still get rid of the Triskelions. And I love Tsunami. I absolutely love it. Maybe it's a little early to cast it against my opponent here, but I don't want him to be able to hard cast anything. You know, I don't want those Triskelions coming to play from his hand. Anything, you know, any monster in his deck, I don't want him to be able to cast. I want him to have to use his tricks. Okay, so here they are. 3 4/4s. Yikes. I got 4 cards in hand. Going to 5 here. Is there a Wrath? Come on. Uh-oh. I think if there was, it would have happened a little faster than this. Okay. So I'm going to try to plow 1 and hit me for the full 3. So that guy is RFG'd, and my opponent goes to 21. And regrowing the plow, and plowing another one. And hit me for the full 3 again. So that Triskelion also is removed from the game, exiled, and my opponent is at 22. I know we see him in the graveyard here, but they are removed from the game. And go ahead and does this bizarre thing. Drawing 2, he's going to have to discard 3 here. And, okay, I had 2 plows. You know, it's, ooh, 3 monsters. Okay, Sinbad, the dragon, and the vampire. I cannot let another All Hallows Eve pop off. Absolutely not. I mean, those Triskelions aren't there, so it's not as bad as it could be. You know, if I did Wrath, I would have eaten 9 and then another 9 plus have those monsters on the field. So the fact that there were plows is probably better. Even if he did hit me for the 2 and then ping off the trike with the last damage to save them from exile and just throw them in the graveyard, I'd still be hurting. Still be hurting. And I don't even have the extra mana to tap down at Triskelion, so he can swing in, and he does. Drops me to 10. Oh man, this is rough. Do I have another plow? Because I tapped out last turn. Plow, regrow, plow. 2 mana, 3 mana, have him discard. And he's discarding a disenchant. He doesn't have the mana to cast it. That's great news. And I just tap my Icy. What did I tap? Tap this Triskelion during his upkeep. Oh, and there it is. Another All Hallows Eve. Oh, yikes. Okay, at least those Trikes are not in the graveyard, you know. But I need an answer, or that's it's just gonna, you know, steamroll me. I got 2 turns to figure it out, though. And over here, I'm unsure of what I'm doing. I think I want to make sure I keep a mana open. Oh, there's a plow. And okay, he's just realizing those 2 are exiled, and he's gonna save this one. So he hits me for 2, hits himself for 1. Puts the Triskelion in the graveyard, which, oh, okay, it's the only Triskelion in the graveyard now. So even if I do Wrath, he still hits me for 3. He dropped me to 5 once that All Hallows Eve pops off. So a little scary here, a little scary. And I really need like an extra mana. You know, I need a mana to be able to use my Icy. There it is. Now I could Wrath and Icy, you know, if I need to. Have him discard in response. He's disenchanting my Icy. And, ooh, during his upkeep, all those monsters are coming back into play. Here they come. He's got a, okay, Triskelion, Singer Vampire, Shivan Dragon, Sinbad. Is that it? Okay, that's actually not as scary as I thought it was. It's still scary, of course. Ooh. You know that deck needs, like, Concordant Crossroads. You know? I mean, I know it's a pain to have to slip in there. Finding a spot's probably impossible. Oh! I didn't have the Wrath, so that's game. That is game 1. Congratulations to my opponent. And here we saw the exact opposite. We saw his deck just work. You know? Wow, okay. We get to have a tiebreaker, a game 3. And here we are, getting going. He's got a mulligan down to 6 here. Figuring out what to discard. It's always exciting getting to game 3, you know? It really is. And here we saw game 1. My deck did its job. His deck did its job too. But part of my deck's job is having that Wrath. So my deck did its job and it won. Game 2. His deck did its job. My deck, not so much. And that gave him game 2. So let's see how game 3 goes. Got myself a Felwar Stone. Doesn't tap for any mana because all these guys are bizarre right now. And Triskelion, Deep Spawn, Shivan in the graveyard. Whoa. This is getting scary already. It's just so fast. This deck just overwhelms the battlefield so fast. Although here I am with 4 mana turn 3. Tapping 2 for a rock. So I've got 3 available now. Anything to do with it? Come on, show me like a Disrupting Scepter or something. Am I trying to figure it out? How many options can I possibly have? You know? Maybe just like trying to Heart of the Cards or Wrath of God to the top of my library. Okay, so we get he Bizarres again. Another Shivan. Solkanar the Swamp King. Love that flavor right there. And I'm guessing the 3rd card is not going to be a creature because it's taken a while. Which I guess is good for me. You know, it's one less crazy thing. Yeah, Disenchant goes to the graveyard. And then he draws for his turn. So, how much damage is that? Let's say he did All Hallows Eve and get to swing. That's over 20 damage already. It's exactly 20 damage, then plus the Triskelion pings. And here's his library. And I disenchant that. I don't want to let him have those options. I don't want to let him discard to the top. And there's a Tetris and 2 Felwar Stones. Icy Manipulator from me, which is nice because he's not hitting land drops or he's holding lands in hand because he doesn't even play. But I can use the Icy to keep that Underground Sea tap down now, and I'm at a huge mana advantage. And here's a book, so hopefully I get a card advantage too. Although I guess I technically am since he's bizarring, but it's not real. You know, that's only on paper. What's really happening here is his deck is working. Does it again. Oh man, another Shivan, another Triskelion, another Tetris. Oh, there's an All Hallows Eve gets off. This is going to be just such an impressive board. Here I am, drawing a card, digging up what I can, tapping down his land or his upkeep, and which is nice. He hit his second land though, finally, because he's been in a rough spot. Although if he has it now, he can ritual into an All Hallows Eve. I'm drawing 6, and it leaves me only 3 open. One of them has got to be to tap down his land. I can't just throw away that mana. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Upkeep and tapping the white-black land. And I guess that makes sense. Take away the white. Because the blue, I mean, it's just a hard cast Sinbad, I guess. You know, I haven't seen any counter power yet from this deck. And he's doing it again. Drawing and discarding. Man, that is, I mean, a deck thing, right? That's what they call it when you use like your fetch lands in the newer format. Yeah, he's just pitching cards he doesn't need and trying to get the cards that he does need that'll help propel himself forward into his hand. That is just so strong. And I mean, I don't know if it's what's Bizarre go for nowadays? Like a grand? I don't know if it's $1,000 strong, but this here, this is it. All Hallows Eve. 2 turns. This nonsense is really happening. But I've got 6 cards in hand. I gotta hope one of them is a Wrath of God, because that is what's gonna get me out of this hole. I tsunami out 2 lands again. Oh, I love doing that. Okay. All Hallows Eve's got 1 counter on it, but he's got down to 1 land again, and I got my Icy, so I can keep him off of mana at least. It's not gonna do me any good if I don't have a Wrath of God, but it still helps. You know, it's limiting his options. And I got 1 more turn before I need to have that Wrath in hand. Disrupting Scepter. See, that's nice. Okay, take away his 1 card. What is it? Response. He's gonna Bizarre, so it just makes the card go away anyway, but it throws the top 2 in the yard also. So I guess I see it, you know, just get as many creatures in there as possible before the effect comes off. And here it is, popping off. Sinbad, Petrovis, Shivan Dragon, Robot, Soul Canar the Swamp King, second Shivan, Deep Spawn, and it just keeps going. Another Shivan, and another Triskelion. Yikes. Wow. Wow, what a board. What a board. How many times you have to look at this, you know? Alright, so this is it. Either I got an answer to this game. There it is. Alright, Wrath of God. Hits me for full 6 off those Triskelions. Which makes sense. And I'm plowing 1. Okay. So, at least if it happens again, it's 1 less Triskelion that's coming to play. Puts up to 21. And I have saved my skin for now. Tapping down the white-blue land. And that's his upkeep, I guess. Or that's the end of his turn. Okay. And here we go. Ooh. That was exciting. All you've gone. Had him discard it. That's nice. That's nice. That's 1 less event I need to deal with, you know. And that's what I want to happen. That's why I've been keeping his lands tapped. You know. Wow. Wow. If I can keep doing that, if I can keep tapping his lands down, keep him off of 4 mana, hopefully he draws another All Hallows Eve and I make him discard my Scepter, you know, that's it. That's where I want to be. Phase 2 for Reanimate Dead. Deep Spawn. Okay, that is scary. He can pay a blue to give himself Shroud for the turn. I think that would tap him, and he would get stuck tapped for a turn. He's also you have to mill 2 every turn, every upkeep, and I think he's a 6/6. So scary monster, so good in this build, so ridiculously good. So I couldn't even just plow him. I'd have to like plow him twice. You know, plow, and he'd activate the ability, and in response to the activation of the ability, since he can only do it once, I have to plow again. Unless I do waste a full Wrath on him. Or I could let him mill. Okay, I do Wrath. There we go. I mean, that's not how I would use my Wraths. I could have just used my Icy Manipulator and let him mill 2 every turn. You know, I could have just hoped that he milled away his own All Hallows Eves. There's only 2 left, you know? But I guess I wasn't thinking about that. I was more thinking, ooh, I got a second one. Okay, but the plan is working. The plan is working. So there's 3 All Hallows Eve in the graveyard now, and I got a Karma on the board. He's got 2 swamps. That's nice. So he took the 2 doors up, keep Dustin down to 19. Is this my plan? Is this my road to victory? Ooh, man. He's checking out his graveyard now. You know, I'm asking him, hey, double checking here, how many All Hallows Eves are in there? And checks it out for me. In addition to all his creatures, you know, there's 3 All Hallows Eve, 3 in the graveyard. So that is great news. There's only 1 left. And then it's just spot, you know, animation after that I need to worry about. Ooh. Wow. Very excited. Very excited. Tappy Tappy here. 3 mana, 4 mana. Drawing a card. And another Icy Manipulator. That's cool. That is cool. I don't have the mana to use it. Karma takes him down to 16 here. This is good. This is a fine spot to be in. It's no guarantees, though. There's no guarantees. You know, he could, like this turn, for instance, I got no mana to tap down his lands. If he did draw a All Hallows Eve, it's coming. It's coming, and that'll beat me faster than the Karma will beat him. Soul Canard the Swamp King reanimated with a Animate Dead. Now, I don't know if he just overlooked the fact that I had a Caracas in play, because I'm tapping it now and bouncing him, and then I'm going to make him discard with the Scepter, I assume. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, unless he did that just to make me spend my mana for the turn. But I still think, I mean, maybe Deep Spawn, I don't know, because even, you know, like I said, Deep Spawn can hurt him more than can help now, because 3 out of the 4 All Hallows Eves are in the graveyard. So, I don't know what the right choice was. You know, maybe a Shivan. It doesn't matter. Whatever creature it was, I could have tapped down eternally with the Icy Manipulator. But only that Soul Canard could I have done this to, you know. I have him discard response. He's disenchanting my Karma. So there goes that road to victory there. Oh, regrow Karma. 4 mana Karma. Oh, that's rough. Okay. Show him I got 4 cards in hand because he was asking about it. And he goes down to 10 now during his upkeep. Clock is ticking. Clock is ticking. That's 4 turns left for him. If there's not another answer. And I lost track of how many disenchants. I think it's 3 disenchants in the graveyard now for him. And for me, it's 1 regrowth out of 3. And 1 karma out of 2, I think. Maybe 3 in the deck currently from the sideboard. Oh, man. And this is part of my plan sometimes. You know, if they're playing with swamps, you know, win game 3 or game 2 with karmas. Drawing a card. That was the end of his turn, I guess. And he's down to 7 already. And he played in a swamp, which is risky business. Tappy tappy, drawing a card, digging. And what am I doing here? Digging more, drawing more cards. Up to 8. I need a discard now. So there goes a forest. Upkeep, tapping 2 lands. He's down to 3. He's dead next turn. What's he draw? No help. That's game 3. Wow, what a game. It was a rough one for him. It really was. He was kind of mana screwed a little bit. And then my Ices kind of just kept that, you know, solidifying in how screwed that he was because of the land shortage. And, I mean, I guess technically both our decks worked. You know, his All Hallows Eve popped off. But 2 ended up being duds right to the graveyard. and that really hurt him. So, wow, what a game 3. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you really dig me, leave me a tip for my services. Head on over to my Patreon, Baron Nick. Speaking of my patrons, here are my end credits. It is my Scroll of Honor.